I'm Brent Payne with Right Stuff Equipment. This is a setup video for a CVC 300 pressure labeler. We got our labeler here, so after we get it out of the crate, plug it into your standard 110 volt power, and we can begin setup. Our power switch is up here, located next to the e-stop. Just want to flip that switch, it's going to boot up. While it's booting up, I'm going to go ahead and set my rails for my bottle. So we got in and out adjustments and up and down adjustments and our pacing wheel here. We just want to make sure that we're decently, tight, not tight, but close to that bottle to give it a nice little guide. Make sure it can move all the way through. Here is going to be our pressure and labeling area. We'll just want to tighten this down. There's a nice scale here for quick reference for changeovers. We want to give it a little bit of tension, and that's going to allow that label to be pressed on there nice and evenly. And then our back end rail, same thing as the front rails here. Make sure it's not getting hung up anywhere. Okay, after we get that set up, we're going to put on our labels. This is our labeling head here. So we'll start by putting it on the unspool reel here. There's a web diagram here that you can follow. You just got to follow, the red pathing. So we'll go out and around this first labeler here. This is our brake, so that will release our labels. So we can, so they pull pretty easily there. So we'll go around that, around our brake. There's a little gate here, spring-loaded gate. Keep nice, good tension on our labels. We'll go through that guy there. We'll click that in later. Around here, we're going to go through this is our label sensor, through our label sensor, and then through our first drive. There's 2 drives on this machine. So go through that first drive. Make sure we're through our label sensor. I'm going to go out and around that knurled roller. Next spot is going to be our peel plate here. So we're going to go around our peel plate. After we go around our peel plate, we're going to go through our second set of drive rollers here. Okay, through the second set of drive rollers and to our pickup spool. There's a clip here, it goes in the round and kind of conforms to the indent on that roller. So we're going to click it in like that, and then I just like to spin it just a little bit, give it a little tension. We want to make sure that we lock down our tension points. So this spring loaded here, and then got to make sure we're locked in with both of our drives. And then we're ready to go. The nice thing about the CVC labeler is it has what they call an auto adjust. There's a button on the screen here, top left hand corner. It's called auto adjust. What that's going to do, it's going to automatically read the bottle diameter and read the label length. One key important factor when using that auto adjust is back here on the sensor. Before we use that auto adjust, we got to make sure that there's no label there. We just want just backing paper at that sensor point. So we'll peel a label off where the roll is on that sensor, and then we can run the auto adjust. So it's gonna learn the sensitivity of that backing paper and change it for the labels. So again, in here we'll just press and hold this auto adjust button for 1 second. And then it says place 1 container on the conveyor. We'll place a container on the conveyor. It's going to go past our product sensor here. Measure it. And after it measures, it's going to kind of auto set our labels. So it's going to read it and set it. Now you can see we have a nice flag here, automatically set up by the machine, ready to label. If we want to double check, we can come into label parameter, and it has our approximate bottle diameter here. This one is 49.4 millimeters. It's got our label length and everything there for setup. So we can just test it by placing a bottle through the machine and make sure we're getting a nice good label. Looks like we're a little bit high on the label. So on the back side here, there's a hand wheel adjustment to move the label head up and down. So I'm just going to go ahead and move the label head down a little bit. Send the bottle through again. And you can see we moved down a little bit. So now we're kind of in a better zone there. So that's the basic setup. If you need to make any changes to say the label parameter, we can come in here. We can change our label speed, plus and minus. If we need to slow down the label speed, if you have a pretty poor bottle, that's when you'd use that. Our extension is going to be how much flag is out here, out of our peel plate. I usually leave it at, you know, the factory setting of what it automatically sets to. There's various reasons why you can, you know, move that in or out, longer flag, shorter flag, but that's the extension portion. The position portion is the time that our product sensor here sees our bottle to when it starts labeling. Again, I wouldn't recommend making any changes unless you absolutely have to. One tall tale sign of if you need to change that is if you got a straight up vertical wrinkle. On our label, if there's a straight vertical wrinkle, that means you're firing that label too soon. So we would change that position setting to fire the label a little bit later. That's the basic setup for a CVC 300 labeler. If you have any questions, contact us here at Right Stuff Equipment.